these are some expected result from Six Sigma. So I have designed this slide to make you understand that what sort of problems, what sort of issues can be resolved using Six Sigma. Earlier, I talked about different companies, different functions. But now I'm focusing on that after completion, the Six Sigma project or Six Sigma initiative, Sigma improvement opportunity, what sort of results or outcome we can expect. So we can definitely improve customer satisfaction. We can do projects on improving CSAT. We can improve project on NPS. I hope everybody has heard of NPS, Net Promoter Score, which means
yes.
Yeah,
No,
which is
no,
okay.
no,
Okay, NPS is very simple thing which we are also experiencing nowadays, which is Net Promoter Score, wherein we have the customer, where the customer or the consumer is being sent a survey or a message asking whether or would you like to recommend Amazon or Flipkart or Netflix, anything, any service to your friends and family. Okay, so there is a rating start from 0 to 10. So if you are between 0 to 6, you are a detractor, which means you are very unhappy with the service. You would not recommend your friends and family to, let's say, Amazon. Okay. If you are between 7 and 8, you are a passive customer, wherein it doesn't matter, it doesn't care. You are kind of satisfied, but you don't want to recommend anybody. Okay. If you give a rating of 9 to 10, which means you are a very loyal customer. You would recommend all your friends, your loved ones and family ones to go and tell them, go and use this service. Okay. So it's a very critical metric in mostly all the organization nowadays, because that's how they measure it, that what is the customer loyalty in terms of different providers. And this is to be done using calls. This is to be done using SMS. And we as a consumer also receive a lot of SMS. Like if we use Zomato or Swiggy or any other service, we also receive a message. So that is what NPS is. So with the help of Six Sigma, we can do projects on improving the CSAT or improving the NPS, which is called as Net Promoter Score. So if this metric is not there in your organization, go for it, explore it, and many of the organizations are already using it. You can strive for it and get it implemented on your organization. Then the second is the reduce the cycle time, which is the time which is taken to reduce a service or a good. So those are the projects, because this is very impacting to the customer. Increase productivity, which is very important.
One sec, sir. Means you mean to say mostly used by e-commerce type of e-commerce functions?
Not necessarily. This is to be used for e-commerce.
Simranpreet, shall I just help answering that question?
Please.
So I think, even Henry Harwin, let's say we are having a training with this, any kind of training industry as well. They also conduct this kind of survey where they want to see the customer satisfaction level. So they also have such certain questionnaires which actually help them improve on the quality. So not just one industry like e-commerce, it is actually applicable for even a parlor or even a hospital. Yeah, so someone who really like to give my feedback after every service wherever I go and take. So that I think that helps the company to improve further and satisfy more customers like that.
Yes, absolutely. Very well said. It is not only applicable to any sort of industry, any company, any organization, as mentioned by Ratna, that it can be applied to any sort of industry. It is just, we need to implement that kind of a metric in the organization and get it done. But just to tell you, the benefit is only when it is to be done by a third party. If in the same organization I do an NPS, there are some associations. I'll just name one of them. There's an organization called, you can Google it also, IMRB. I stand for India, M stand for Mike, R stand for Romeo, and B stand for Bombay. IMRB, Kantar, that's a name. This is an organization who is a third party. जिनका काम ही यही है, who does the surveys, who does the NPS, who does the customer satisfaction on behalf of the different companies. Okay, they never say that we are a third party, but because in that case the customer would not be very customer would be reluctant to share that information. But if any company wants to do an NPS, this should be done by third party to ensure that there's no biasness, there's no bias, and to ensure that they are providing the right information. So that's what we can strive for. Moving ahead, increase productivity also. You can do a lot of productivity sort of initiatives. You can lead that. You can improve that, because that would yield a lot of cost optimization and improve the revenue of the organization. Because the more productive we are, the more revenue would be able to, the more billing that we can, the more invoices that the company can generate easily and get revenue out of it. So productivity. I would also help you understand how to do the cost benefit analysis also, because any Six Sigma project and every Six Sigma project would definitely have some kind of a dollar benefit. If you're not coming on the dollar benefit, we would not call it as a strong problem solving project that has been done. But there are always exceptions that where we cannot do. But in 90% and more of the cases, we would be able to come up with the benefit quantification, that how much cost saved, how much cost avoidance, how much revenue that we have generated, so that we would call it as a, it is not that the metric improvement, it is also the benefit quantification. Then the list that I've got, reduce the total defects, errors, okay, that is to be done. We can improve that. This is very important, and which most of the organizations are facing, which is called work in progress. WIP is something which is a pain for each and every organization, especially the organization which I have worked for, which I have consulted for. Every organization says, we start with the process, we start with the good, but it is not being sent to the customer. It is still in WIP. So you can also lead an opportunity to work on the work in progress. Improve processes, flows, reduce the non-value added activities by going through the process and understanding what are those value added and non-value added. So you can also identify opportunities from there also. Okay. So this is something which are the expected results from Six Sigma, and this is not an exhaustive list. There are many more, and you go back, look in your organization and see what is that important metric. And just to tell you, since we have 1 minute left for the dinner break, Six Sigma projects are to be done on the high impact opportunities, which is very critical for the organization, which should be part of your CXOs or CEOs goal sheet or the scorecard. If that is not relevant for him or her, no matter what, how strong your project is, how strong your solution is, how strong your team is, if you don't get a strong leadership buy-in, we will never be able to expect these results. So Six Sigma project is to be done on the prime most improvement which the company organization wants to go for. It shouldn't be done on a small initiative. If you want to go for a small initiative, you don't want to do a Six Sigma project, and you're doing a project only because you want to come up with something very disruptive or significant kind of a work. So that's what that's why the Six Sigma projects are being done, and therefore it requires a lot of statistical analysis, a lot of analysis to be done using different tools and techniques. Okay. So any question anybody has before we take a break for dinner? So there's an exercise. There's an exercise for all of you in the next training. I would expect from all of you to come up with some sort of improvement opportunities. Just name of those improvement opportunities in your respective organizations, which are very critical to the organization. And then I would like to hear from you that then we probably would make a story out of it, and we'll make a list, and we'll keep on discussing those opportunities with this forum and ask each other the questions and all. So likewise, you can see on the screen the big opportunities like customer satisfaction, cycle time, improving productivity. I want to hear from you that what are the critical business challenges your organization is facing, just the name of it, and we'll talk about them also. So do you think it's a good idea so that we'll be able to relate to what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that will work.
So just come up with at least two and see that how we can, and just get some perspective about it as well, that what is the meaning of that particular opportunity, so that if I ask you a question, you probably would be able to explain it, that what sort of problem is that. Not in terms of data in that kind of a study that I'm asking, just the opportunity and kind of an impact as well. Okay, so that would help you to identify certain projects also.